Pleasant afternoon from St. Paul University, Manila. My name is Father Norman Peña of the Society of St. Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Father Norman.
Father Mervs.
And I am Father Merwin Canglion from the Diocese of Maasin.
This afternoon, we are actually here to present our oral dissertation proposal, which is entitled School Climate and Culture,
Tenets of the Whole Child Framework in Selected Philippine Catholic Schools.
Our presentation will actually be divided in two parts, the problem and its background, and as well the methodology.
The first part, which is the problem and its background, includes purpose of the study, the problems, assumptions, scope and limitations, significance, review of related lit, and of course, operational of definition of terms.
The second part, of course, will be including as well the research design, the approach, the locale, the participants in the study, the sampling that we would use, the research instruments and its validation, the data gathering procedure, and also the statistical treatment of data. So, Father Merv, are you ready to begin?
Yes, of course, I'm ready. And how about our panels? Are you ready also?
Chapter 1, The Problem and its Backgrounds. The current scenario of the Fourth Industrial Revolution are offering big opportunities in how things are done and how things are learned, nationally and internationally. With this are various challenges as well, including globalization, violence, terrorism, killings, drugs, poverty, and instances of rejection by God, by some government and religious leaders, and also representatives and other people. Catholic schools and schools actually in general are not exempted from these challenges, as noted by the following reports.
One of the problems affecting many schools now is the breakdown of discipline.
I think that one of the things that will have to be concretely addressed is the issue of complementarity between public and private schools.
I think the first one is really how to maintain the Catholic identity of a particular school.
I feel one of the most important priority in education is the child.
Added to this are curricula, approval, bullying, suicide, staff and admin processes and development, salaries, benefits, and resources. All these are part of school culture and climate, a positive development of which is indispensable to the growth of the school.
Purpose of study. The study aims to investigate the relationship between school culture in selected small and large Catholic schools in the Philippines and the climate they produce towards the development of the whole child and its tenets, namely healthy, engaged, challenged, safe, and supported.
The general problem of the research is how the school culture in selected large or small Philippine Catholic schools influence and relate with different aspects of the school climate with respect to the tenets of the whole child. Specific questions are as follows. 1. To what degree did the tenets of the whole child framework manifest in school climate in selected large or small Philippine Catholic schools, as experienced by the students, administrators, and employees, and parents and guardians? Number 2, how do aspects of Catholic school culture relate to the attributes of the whole child framework manifested in the school climate? Number 3, how do aspects of the Catholic school culture of selected large or small Philippine Catholic schools relate with each other with respect to the school climate? And number 4, how can Philippine Catholic school culture and climate be further enriched and synergized to ensure that the tenets of the whole child framework are achieved?
Assumptions of the study. Relational convergences exist among the characteristics of school culture and climate and the tenets of the whole child framework. School culture produces school climate. In large Catholic schools, the aspects of culture are often distributed and diffused, while in smaller schools, they are centralized and concentrated. Application of the whole child framework in the Philippine Catholic schools can have a solid faith and value foundation that is rooted much on the culture itself of the country.
Scope and limitations of study. This research attempts to find an alignment in the role of the Catholic schools in the integral development of students. It attempts to represent schools in all regions of the country, in the rural as well as urban provinces. For school climate, only indicators identified as closely related with the whole child framework were included. And to give equal weight to the data survey of small and big schools, quota sampling was used. In small schools, less than 500 students. In large, big schools, 500 and more students were the respondents.
Significance of the study. Number 1. Its contextualization of the tenets and tracing the possibilities of their application in the Philippine Catholic schools. Small and big schools are studied to unravel convergences and divergences. Number 2. To evaluate and highlight the characteristics of both school, culture, and climate within the given vision and mission of Catholic education. Exploration of the characteristics and its social impact and effect in the pedagogical milieu. Number 3. Identifying distinct tenets and values of the Philippine Catholic education which can be benchmarks for Catholic education institutes overseas. Number 4. Unveiling additional avenues of converging discussion between Philippine private and public schools.
Review of related literature. Resources that distinguishes both school culture and climate are cited, including their definitions, history, and processes. Together with this are resources defining Catholic education, the whole child framework, and school size. Framework of the study. School climate arises from the dynamics of school culture. This culture builds school climate and positively shapes it, which thus leads to the promotion of the whole child framework. The study frameworks also integrates the social cultural framework of Fantini and Fantini, the Vatican II's principal features of Catholic schools framework, and the whole child framework of ASCD.
Operational definition of terms. The study adapts the following definitions for the principal terminologies used in the research. School culture, the set of symbols, beliefs, rituals, policies, tradition, institutional stories, vision, mission, goals, and objectives, physical infrastructure and resources, and collective memory. School climate, the relational and internal interactions that occur in the school and as a fruit of school culture. Whole child approach, integral learning approach composed of the following tenets: healthy, engaged, challenged, safe, and supported, centered on the learner. Catholic education, the educational system championed by the Catholic Church. Philippine Catholic schools are owned and operated by Catholic institutions, families, or those in private sector adheres to Christian principles.